Hey everyone, last time we were in the Shiver City or Starborn Valley. This time we're in Goomba Village again. Why? Because as you saw, we got the second to last part of the letter quest, so I decided to just finish it up. You know, because it's easier just to finish it up than it is to wait till later. Besides the fact that the thing we get from here is actually quite a good badge. And I definitely recommend you do this anyway, because it's not that hard to get back to Toad Town from Shiver City. And it's not that hard to get from Toad Town to Goomba Village. So, this badge is I definitely recommend because it's really useful for the upcoming area, because again, a lot of the enemies do some good damage. It's a Lucky Day badge. A Lucky Day badge allows enemies to sometimes miss. Unlike Pretty Lucky, it does it much more often, and it's definitely a pretty decent badge. Considering that even though it's long and tedious, the quest really isn't all that hard. So anyway, we get a bucket from Mayor Penguin, and this will allow us to access Shiver City, or Shiver City, Crystal Palace. And also, if you don't, I forgot to mention, he said that we have to, our eyes might deceive us, so yeah. So you have to keep that in mind, so let's head on our way, but first we have to deliver one of the letters we got in the path, which happened to be to Mayor Penguin. What should I talk about? Modern art. I'm taking an art history class, and yeah, he's frozen. I'm taking an art history class, art history 2, and most of it's modern art. And here's a lot of the modern art tends to be more avant-garde and tends to be more innovative. Why? Because of the art of the old days, like the paintings, they were taking reality, right? What they saw in reality, and they were transferring it onto, paper. And a lot of them were just, keeping it the way it was. Sometimes they add their own style to it, but for the most part, they weren't trying to make any engraving meaning. Sometimes they were. Some people were trying to have meanings in their stuff, but for the most part, it was either they were just showing the image and using it as a narrative, or I love the music that plays here, by the way, or they were just trying to they were either just displaying as a narrative, or they were showing the images, but they were also trying to make a point at the same time. But they were never just trying to make a point. They were either doing one thing or two things at once. You know what I mean? The point of art in the old days wasn't just to make a point, usually. Usually there was also showing the image as well. And I also got the spell back at this point. Then slowly people were like, well, we can't compare to the people of the past. We have to keep moving forward in order to make a name for ourselves. So eventually got to the point that art seems to become more and more philosophical, and that's now a word. In that instead of just, instead of even being about actually making anything, it's more about just making you think. So then you got people like Duchamp taking a urinal and placing it in an art gallery and calling it art. Now here's my problem right off the bat. That's not art. I'm sorry, but it's not art. It can be philosophical. There is a word that I'm trying to say, and I can't say it because I'm not good at that. And what? There's two Coopers. See, this game is making as much sense as I am right now. So we have two Coopers now. That's pretty cool. So anyway, there's that's not art. Maybe it's philosophical. That's it. Philosophical art, perhaps, but it's not. I don't even consider that really art. I mean, that's just taking some. Here's the thing I think about art. If you didn't make it, and if you didn't do anything in making it at all, maybe you can call it art, but you can't call it your art. You can't say that Duchamp's art, like they say it's Duchamp's art, the urinal. It's not. That's not Duchamp's piece. That's just something he took and claimed it was his. That's no different than, everyone's complaining about, copyright and all that, and plagiarism. In my opinion, that's plagiarism. I'm sorry. I mean, just because you, I mean, granted, here's the thing, and this is when you get into, more detail. And yeah, I hate Cooper. I love his face here. But you get into, you get into the debate between, I mean, I say that words don't mean anything, unless you add a meaning to them. Otherwise, they're just, you know, vessels, right? So then you get into the fact that the urinal was not anything until Duchamp added meaning to it, and therefore his adding of the meaning created art. But the meaning that he was trying to make behind it. But the thing is, why can't you have both? Why can't you have, like, there's meaningful art that is made by them people. I mean, for example, I would say Andy Warhol is an artist. The thing about Andy Warhol is he's taking images that other people made, but he's doing them in his own style, and it's still being meaningful, and it still shows that, you know, he's still using, I guess, skill in it. And the thing is, you don't have to have a lot of skill, but the thing is, when you, I guess my point is, overall, if you're not doing any work in making the art, the actual physical piece, you're not an artist, in my opinion. I mean, there's an artist called John Cage who does musical stuff, sound, and one of his pieces that he did has no sound at all. It's just silence, and he's calling that a piece of art. That's not music. I'm sorry, but it's not music. You had to have something, because not just because you had to have something because that's what art is, but because of the fact that you're not doing any work in making it. You're not providing us art. You're providing us thought. And by doing that, by saying that that's art, you're saying that thought is art, and is thought art? What is art? I mean, art is. I mean, that's a whole big debate on what art is, and I don't think that thought is art. Personally, at least. And then, this whole debate could go on for years, or this whole rant. But first, let's go with this last super block, which I will use to power up Black Alistair to the last level. Do you want to upgrade this member? Yes, I do. Considering he's the last member, yeah. The last member of the DK crew. So yeah, what this will do, this is Hurricane. This will blow all the enemies, or some enemies, off of the screen. Again, it's one of those moves that makes you lose star points, so I don't like it. And here we have White Clubbas. I think they're just called White Clubbas, maybe, I don't know. But I like these guys, these are pretty awesome. Awesome fellows. Let's see what their names are. Maybe. Or maybe I just used multiple moves, I don't know, I can't remember. Anyway, oh yeah, White Clubba. So anyway, anyway, I guess my point about modern art is imitation is fine. Like, I mean, art in general, a lot of the stuff from the past is taking things that, taking reality and then applying it to, you know, your work. I mean, that's basically what it is. And then if you take someone else's work and apply it to your own work, that's no different than taking reality, or taking something in nature and applying it to your work. You know, in my opinion, it's very similar. I mean, then there's still the controversy going on about Shepard Fairey. I could mess up the two names. Shepard Fairey, who the Obama Hope poster that he did, he used a picture from the Associated Press. And by doing, I first I mentioned pick up 3 of those pebbles, because by doing so you can place them here and get all the items the first way through, and you'll want some of these items for this upcoming area. Oh man, I love this part of this song right here. But Shepard Fairey did the Obama Hope poster and used a picture from the Associated Press, which was Obama's image, and now they're suing him because. Now, they're only suing him because he made money off of it, but they're suing, and because it was successful, but they're suing him because he used their image without their permission. It was copyrighted. But then you get into the fact that you're saying, okay, so you're saying we can't. First of all, does Obama own his own image? I mean, you don't own Obama, so you can't really copyright the photo, because you're taking a photo of. I mean, I guess my thing is it's different with. It's different with art than it is with photos. I mean, photos you get kind of... Because photo, in my opinion, is defining whether or not it's art. There are artistic photos, but a lot of times photos are just a way to capture, a moment. And in terms of the Associated Press's pictures, they weren't trying to be artistic. They were just capturing a moment. So all Shepard was doing was taking that moment and using it as a reference. He could have easily just sat down and painted Obama in that exact pose. He could have took his own picture. But he just used a picture from the internet because it was more convenient, and it's not really fair to. There's no reason to sue him for that, in my opinion. That's just because he's being successful. But the point I'm saying is imitation is fine But you have to have some work done in it. I guess is the point I'm trying to make of this whole discussion is if you're taking someone else's work and claiming it's yours without doing anything to it, that's not art. That's plagiarism. That's not, that's just taking someone else's work. If you take something or an image someone else does and you alter it or change it or make it your own, then not only can you call it, yourself an artist, but I think you can make an argument that it's art, but you have to do something, in my opinion, to even consider it art, personally. And then there's other details on what you consider art in general, like what is art is, and I'm not even going to get even deep into that, because that could be a whole project's worth of rants. So, anyway, we're getting this Star Stone that we need to continue on to Crystal Palace. This is Madame Merlar. I didn't talk about her, and I'm not going to, so this has been Mega 400 reminding you...